Hi, my name is Lorna Okoth, and this is my project Game of Life. The user. First, I want to explain what is Game of Life. Game of Life is an experiment of creating living and dead cells. It's a cellular automaton that was formulated by John Conway. The user will log in through a form to gain access of Game of Life, interact with the canvas, and have a choice to select cells as live or dead, change canvas size, increment generations, stop the experiment. Really, overall, the user will be able to configure and observe how the cell evolves. The design. So the overall design, I have the login, sign up page, the welcome page, and the gameplay. The sign up page, the user will be able to interact the login and sign up. So when they sign up or hit the sign up button, the panel will slide to the left for them to view the sign up page. And same vice versa when they hit the login. For the welcome page, they will interact with the welcome username. For example, we have Jane Doe, and then after that, they will follow. The buttons will animate up on the screen. With the gameplay, uh, the user will be able to interact with game options, the stat, and the menu. The key designs that I have or that I'm proud of is the Game of Life logo, um, the sign up page, the animations, and the error message, and the pop ups for rules and credits. The picture I have here is for the rules. Um, the user will be able to read that. Here is the UML, the client versus server. So the client side, we had gameplay.js, homepage.js, common.js, homepage.php, and gameplay.php. For the server, we have password.php and login.php. Uh, for the backend work, the homepage.php uses the password.php to get the users list and add user and to get the last user. For the login, it also uses the function register and login. Gameplay.js and homepage.js uses common.js to get cookies to have it save and add. So the overall design, the final look, I added the background picture of the cells to throughout the whole site. Um, but yeah, and then I also added key a key for the alive and dead cells. So when you click, when it's yellow, it's alive, and when it's blue, it's dead. Testing. With testing, I did numerous of cases, but I decided to show you four major ones. So with test 1 and test 2, they're both testing to make sure that the error message would pop up for the sign up and login page. So with test case 1, I purposely did not match the passwords, so it will notify passwords do not match. And then for the login, when you attempt to log in without any information, it will notify you no login provided. And with uh, typing the password wrong, it will notify you that incorrect password / login. So with the code, here's the code for test case 1. On the sign up page, we have the message passwords do not match. And with test case 2, here's the code where it passes the message incorrect login password and no login provided. With test case 3 and 4, this is where I was making sure that with test case 3, I was making sure that the pattern layout would display on the canvas and animate when you generate numerous of generations or just one. Test case 4 was to make sure the toggle click event, when you click on a cell, it turns yellow to indicate that's alive or dead. Um, for Here is the code for test case 3 for the pattern pulsar. Um, It required a lot of math to be able to lay it out and center it, but this was all done in the function populate table. Populate table is run when the pattern drop-down changes. The function will create a pattern that has been predefined. Each pattern has a minimum number of rows and columns it can be. If the current table is below that, it will be expanded to fit. And the comment for Pulsar, when this is running, when this function is running, it updates the array for the Pulsar pattern. Center row and center column are used so the pattern starts as close to the center of the table as possible. And with test case 4, this is the function toggle alive. This is where the on-click event happens, and when you add a live cell, it increments, and if you add a dead cell, it de-increments the population. That concludes the PowerPoint presentation. I will now show you the demo of the site. So here is the site. When we first come across this page, you're able to sign up or log in. If you don't have an account, you can click the sign up button and it animates. It's for you to see the sign up page. So we'll use John Smith. That's already used. So John Smith. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Alright, so that username already exists. We will do John Smith 1. Alright, so the username successfully created and we are able to log in. So here we go. Now we came across with the welcome page, welcome John Smith 1. And then the buttons animate. We're able to interact with the rules. Here's the rules. The credits. And then the logout button. First and foremost, I want to clarify that I am using a 4K screen, so the resolution is bigger, so the layout is kind of off-putting, but if it's in a 1080, it will look like this. So it's more confined and neater. But for presenting, I will have to show it like this. So when we first come across with the canvas, or the game layout, we are able to change the num, rows, and columns. So we can change it to however we like. And fit to however. So with patterns, its default is select a pattern. But if we click on the screen, it changes to custom. So custom will be whatever you would like to do. And then we have beehive, the blinker, and pulsar. And we will, okay, so I will show you the blinker and how it works. So after selecting and setting up the canvas, you're able to start and choose how many times you want to increment. So I'm going to do 3. If you don't want to scroll, you're able to interact with the number and change it. So I did 3, and then after setting the increment, you're able to generate, and it will animate 3 times, or generate 3 times. So as you can see in the stats, the generation is 3, population is 3. When we reset and decide to go 5 more times, it picks up where you left off. So, and to start over to the beginning, you just stop and it will clear the canvas and reset the num rows and columns. Um, so I'll customize one just to show how it works. And just also a note that before you start, generate and increment is grayed out and you're not able to interact with these until you start. Alright, so I'm going to generate this 24 times, or 23 times. That's the max. Oops. Alright, so the generation is 3 and the population is 31. So if I go again, this is cool. Alright, so now generation is 46 and population is now 42. And if I decide to reset, it'll leave the generations and the population, or the generations will stay the same as 46 and the population will be 42. Another keynote is that we do have max columns and rows. So the max for rows is 24 and for columns is 40. And the reason is so the game options, game stats, and menus does not get pushed off the white canvas. Be able within the menu you're able to revert back to the welcome page when you hit quit, and if you want to log out you can just hit log out. And yeah, that concludes the demo project. Thank you for watching and goodbye.